Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, April 29th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This June, we will say goodbye to the principals at the Willett, the Callahan, and the Cleveland. This bittersweet news also means that 3 new principals are coming to Norwood, and we're excited to welcome them. Superintendent Dave Thompson tells us more about the new school administrators joining the Norwood Public Schools.
We're really excited about our new principals, but before I kind of go into that, I want to thank Mrs. Coppola, Mrs. Brown, and Mr. Billhart for all their hard work and their accomplishments while they've been with us. Mrs. Coppola and Mrs. Brown are going to retire, and Mr. Billhart is going to relocate. We've enjoyed working with them. We will miss them, but we're also excited to bring some new members onto our team. And in no particular order, Scarlett Grant will be at the Callahan School. Scarlett comes to us from Salem, where she's an interim principal and has been an assistant principal. She's finishing up her doctoral studies and has a wealth of experience in urban settings and working with diverse communities. Carrie Hutchins is coming to us from Seekonk, where she is an assistant principal. Before that, she was an instructional coach. So she brings kind of that talent to the Cleveland School. Michael Bollier is coming to us from Boston. He is a Norwood resident. He's also finishing up his doctoral studies and also brings an equity lens from that experience there. So whenever we hire new people to join our team, I mean, first and foremost is finding the best fit for the schools that they're going to be taking over. But I also look for talents that they're going to bring to our overall team, and we're really excited about these 3 members. We are currently setting up visits for them as part of their entry plan, looking for them to come, depending on their responsibilities in their current districts, but a day or 2 with us and meet the PTOs and the parents and the students, and those are kind of our next steps moving forward, and they'll be on board and in the chair starting July 1.
Thanks, Dave, and welcome all to Norwood. Stay tuned with Norwood Community Media in June to say goodbye and good luck to our exiting principals. The 2nd annual Restaurant Week was held this past week, sponsored by the Friends of Norwood Center. Many restaurants participated, offering different deals on different menu items. NCM was able to catch up with Fuego and Tasso's, who participated.
So we figured Restaurant Week isn't only for a couple. We figured Restaurant Week is for a family. It's family week. So we did a family meal, which is for a family of 4 for $40, and you get a large cheese pizza. Everyone loves pizza. You get 2 chicken kebabs, 2 pork chops, a large side of rice, 2 side salads, pita bread and tzatziki dip. How can you go wrong? It's $40.
So we just run a discount on our bowls, which is our most popular item. Because with our menu, it's pretty straightforward. So there wouldn't really be like a special food item to run. So we just figure if you give people a discount on our most popular item, it works out best.
Having participated last year, Christina and Tasso were eager to again join in on the Restaurant Week fun that brings the community and local restaurants together.
It definitely does. It just really brings in people that forget about the local places around town. Especially us too. We're at the airport and people always forget about us. So once they come here once or they hear about us, they're like, oh, okay, I'm definitely coming back. It's good.
It makes the locals kind of dedicate that week to eating local instead of going to other restaurants that wouldn't really be considered part of the community typically.
If I could eat local and shop local all day, every day, that's what I would do. I come from a mom and pop family, so I would support mom and pop as much as I could. If I could buy everything that I would need in my house from a local mom and pop shop, I would. And I would recommend everyone to do the same.
Like Christina said, it's so important to show your support to not only local restaurants, but our local businesses in the community. Stay tuned after this break for the reopening of a popular summer attraction and a recap of Earth Day.
You're watching Norwood News only on Norwood Community Media.
Welcome back. One of Norwood's newest and most popular downtown attractions reopened this week. Crews from the DPW spent all week preparing Summers on Central, the area of Central Street between Manhattan and Cottage. They laid out the artificial turf and picnic tables for the residents of Norwood to enjoy.
When COVID showed up in 2020, they were looking for ways to get people out of the house and to be in the open, fresh air and able to socialize. And so the town manager, Tony Mazzucco, came up with the great idea of closing this part of Central Street down, rolling out this artificial turf, having picnic tables built for people to hang out at, and having lighting overhead that's illuminates the area at night. It was a smashing success that first year, and now we're in our third year of closing Central Street down. So it's open 24 hours a day. Typically the lights come on at dusk and then go off at dawn. It's pretty much open to the public the whole time. You'll really start to see activity early in the morning. You'll see some retirees coming down, having their morning coffee. Picks up mid-morning, people grabbing a little snack. Lunchtime picks up even more. And then around dinner time, it's really active down here. People, wanting to meet their friends and some of their family just hanging out. It's just a cool little place to hang out.
Thanks, Mark, and all of the men and women of the different town departments who make this possible year after year. It is always the first sign that we've made it through the winter. Last weekend, the town of Norwood took time to celebrate Mother Earth. This was the first Earth Day celebration held after the COVID-19 pandemic. Organizer and Norwood resident Katie Neal Rizzo was excited to bring it back.
So we had cleanups at 13 sites around town, all of the elementary schools, the middle school, the high school, and a few playgrounds. We had over 200 volunteers attending those sites and cleaning up trash. And then we invited everybody back to Town Common today for a community picnic and fair. So today at the fair we have about 15 different community organizations and groups that have a main focus of sustainability or environmental issues that have come, and they're sharing all of their information and their knowledge with the people who have come to see. And then we have the Unlikely Strummers were here playing music for us, and Joe Hart is here playing music for us as well. So it's just a way for the community to come together and learn more about environmental issues.
Norwood Trails Advisory Committee Chair Joe Greeley was excited to have trails maps available for residents to take a hike throughout the many trails of Norwood.
Today we're representing the Norwood Trails Advisory Committee. We've got a booth here. We are right next to the band. We're giving away maps. We've collected other things from other booths, like an American sweet gum plant. So we're going to try to pick a spot on one of the trails to plant that. We've got a great turnout so far. A lot of people are interested in our maps, especially the QR code map that we have that leads to our website.
This past week, the Recreation Department was busy getting ready for the South Norwood Fishing Derby and Rubber Ducky Race. The pond was stocked with help from Michael Sad, who runs the South Norwood Fishing Derby. NCM was able to catch all the action of the trout getting loaded into the water for the big day.
We're here for the 33rd annual South Norwood Fishing Derby. It's going to be a great day on Saturday. Weather looks good. With the help of Travis, the entire town of Norwood, and Mark Ryan and the entire staff, it's going to be a great day again. We're hoping to have over 200 kids. And we just stocked it with browns, brookies, rainbows, goldens, and tiger trouts.
And the Recreation Department is always happy to be part of this event, and we love it. We get to do our duck race, which is always a fun event for us and a fun aspect of it. Ducks will be on sale all week at the Civic Center and the day of as well. So looking forward to Saturday.
And now we're going to toss it over to Dory Theos with some school news.
Hi guys, I'm Dory Theos, and let's take a look at some activities happening in our Norwood schools this week. In Norwood High School news, the Environmental Youth Coalition students visited with the 4th graders at the Cleveland School and taught them about sustainability and led a successful planting activity. The EYC students organized, planned, and executed this lesson from start to finish. Great job, and a special thanks to club advisor Allison Leckman. This week, the Coakley Middle School held their National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony. Congratulations to all the new members. The Balch School celebrated Fenway Park Opening Day a day early by participating in the Rally Against Cancer with the Jimmy Fund of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. A fun day that included wearing Red Sox gear or red, white, and blue, raffles, reading with various Red Sox mascots, and snacks in the teacher's room. The Balch raised a total of $916.43. The Callahan School held an Earth Day cleanup and thank you to all the families that helped clean up around the school. Students in the 4th grade at the Cleveland School worked hard on their MCAS exams, after being welcomed by some encouraging words from their families. Teachers decorated the hallways with notes and pictures from home, and it was a great way for the students to feel supported and get a nice boost of confidence as they get ready to tackle the MCAS. Also at the Cleveland, Principal of the Day, Wesley Wu, had a full schedule, making announcements, handing out birthday pencils, reading aloud to classrooms, and meeting the 2nd grade puppeteers. And students in the Cleveland School Accelerated Academy immersed themselves in learning last week. There were garden beds to be designed and measured, diagrams to be collected, nature to be observed, and text evidence to be found. The Cleveland Student Council and friends helped clean up the Cleveland Yard on Thursday, April 14th in honor of Earth Day. The Student Council also shared the Earth Day facts every morning during the announcements throughout the week prior to Earth Day. Knowledge is key. Over April vacation, Prescott school staff worked hard to make a fun week for the students attending Acceleration Academy. In grades 1 and 2, students worked with Miss Raythier and Miss Thornton to become space experts. They transformed the room to look like a NASA space station, and students spent the week reading information about space. Students also read about famous astronauts like Mae Jemison and learned about the hidden figures behind the space race. Students worked in reading groups to become experts on the planets. With the STEM teacher, Mr. O, they created planetariums out of cardboard boxes, model magic, and lights. At the end of the week, students in grades 1 and 2 showed off their planetariums to students in grades 3 through 5. This led to thoughtful discussions among the students as to why Pluto isn't considered a planet anymore, and how scientists learn about the planets. Meanwhile, in 3rd grade, students worked with Miss Condon to refine their measurement skills with fractions. Students used real fruits and vegetables to practice measuring and displaying fractions. They created a map of Norwood using scaled images of the schools, town squares, and houses. They measured lengths of streets using fraction bars and created a large bulletin board to display their map of Norwood. Students in grade 4 and 5 worked with Miss King to sharpen their math fact fluency with multiplication and division. This included fun relay races where students had to answer math facts to race against other teams. Students also planned a Thanksgiving meal for their family using Shaw's supermarket flyer. They had to figure out what the total cost of a meal was, as well as how long it would take to cook the 24-pound turkey. Students presented their findings in creative ways to the class. Lastly, all students in grades 1 through 5 worked with Mr. Obara for the week on fun STEM activities like cup stacking, tower building, bridge construction, and balloon racing. 1st grade students also learned about the Earth and the importance of Earth Day during library class. They then used Google Draw to show what they learned. It was a jam-packed week of learning at the Prescott. The Oldham School also offered April Academy over vacation. For 4 days, the kids practiced many ELA and math skills through hands-on learning and engaging centers and games. Exploring the outdoors with Math Scavenger was a great way to end the week. At the Willett School, students in Colleen Reynolds' class performed their own version of the Gingerbread Man. They worked together to write script and practice their lines to prepare for the big show. Parents were invited to watch the premiere, and the students had a great time performing on stage. You can tell they enjoyed the experience, and the high school drama will be ready for the graduating class of 2034. This week at the Little Mustangs Preschool Academy, students celebrated Earth Day by completing multiple fun educational activities. Earth Day was celebrated around the world on Saturday, April 22nd. The students at the LMPA read The Earth book by Todd Parr and learned about many ways to take good care of the earth. They discussed things they could do to help keep our planet clean and healthy, like picking up garbage, recycling, preserving water, and planting seeds to keep the earth green. During art, students created a variety of beautiful masterpieces by coloring, marble painting, and gluing things onto their papers. After reading the Growing a Rainbow book, preschoolers sorted fruits and vegetables into different color categories. They also planted seeds in cups and discussed that seeds need sunshine and water to grow. Preschoolers used their fine motor skills to design their flower gardens using STEM connector toy and explored a variety of different gardening tools. pretend flowers, and vegetables in their sensory table. In addition, they completed flower block patterns and other fun activities on the touchview screen. Well, that's it for school news. There's something interesting happening in our classrooms and schools every day, and thanks to all the educators who share their news with us. Now let's send it over to Brian Boudreau with the latest in school sports.
Hello and welcome to the Sports Update. Last weekend, Norwood hosted one of its great spring traditions as the boys and girls of Little League and youth softball made the trek from Norwood Elks down Washington Street to the Kelly Field Little League complex for the annual parade. There were plenty of smiling faces from the kids to the coaches, and even the president of Norwood Little League, Mike Kelly, enjoyed the beautiful weather.
Well, today is opening day for Little League, which is great, beautiful day. Usually it rains on opening day, so this is bonus. We actually had softball march, and we had a parade. First time we had a parade in 5 years, I believe. So, yeah, beautiful opening day. We got our younger ages to open up today, and older boys open up on Monday. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone just wants to be out and enjoy each other's company and wants to enjoy being together again. So it's been great. There hasn't been one bad negative thing on any of it. So it's been great.
As President Kelly had said, the younger age groups played all day on Kelly and Wall Fields. Stay tuned this spring for Little League coverage. At the high school, the girls of the lacrosse team had the scoring touch this week, winning both their games. First, they took on Norton at home, winning 17-8, and then they hit the road to Medway, where they won 15-10. Senior Allie Steves led the girls' team with 5 goals, and sophomore Olivia Lodge had a hat trick. Junior Kaylee Brown had a great day in the net. Baseball and softball both split their games with Medfield and Holliston this week. Softball started the week with a great 9-4 win over Medfield. Freshman Pauline Cordani got her first career start and pitched a gem, going all 7 innings, getting the win. We had the chance to talk to Pauline after the game.
I think it went well. I definitely could have done like a little bit better and mechanically wise. I think I have a good team behind me, and you know, when I was pitching, I knew that I had them behind me, so I was just focusing on getting it in there and letting my team do the rest.
Then they hit the road to Holliston for a really tough matchup. It was a close game throughout, but the Lady Mustangs fell short 8-7 in extra innings. Varsity baseball had a home game against top 10 Medfield. Medfield scored 3 runs in the top of the first, and that was all they needed to get the 3-0 win. Then on Wednesday, there was a little bit of everything with balks, suicide squeezes, and even an inside-the-park home run as the boys took on Holliston. The Mustangs were up 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th, and the Panthers battled to tie it up and send it into extra innings. The Mustangs played exciting small ball in the 11th to score 3, and the Mustangs win 8-5. The boys and girls tennis teams had 2 more tough matchups this week against Medfield and Holliston. The girls lost both matches in straight sets, and the boys lost Medfield 5-1 and then straight sets to Holliston. The track teams traveled to just one town over to Westwood to take on the Wolverines. Girls track team fell short by a score of 106-25, and the boys lost 90-42. Boys lacrosse was on the road for 2 tough matchups and came away with 2 close wins. Wednesday, it was away at Holliston, and the boys of Deadwood snuck out a 7-5 win, and then the very next day they traveled to Hopkinton and won another close one, 10-6. The matchup of the week was Tuesday night with the boys volleyball team hosted an unfamiliar opponent in Randolph. The Blue Devils came out quick and won the first 2 sets. It was looking like it could be a rough night for the Mustangs, but the boys dug deep and fought back to win the 3rd and 4th set, forcing a winner-take-all 5th set. Led by the strong play of seniors Matt Alves and Coleman Cady, Norwood was able to come from behind once again in the 5th and win the set and the game. We caught up with Coach Nimblett after the game.
The thing going into this week was we had the week off, and we talked about getting better as a team and when you're down, fighting to get back in it. You know, that first set, 2-point set. Second set, we had that lead, and I think we kind of went back to our old ways where we just let a team get back in it. And then something happened in that 3rd set that the kids really dug down deep, and you could tell like they were starting to get confidence and momentum going forward. And we took that set, and you know, after that it was a new game because you're 2-1 at home. You have the ability to dictate what happens with your serve. We had so many guys step in and serve. Joe Green served excellent the whole match. Carl Badiola came in and served big points when we needed them. So it's all we can ask for. And the net play was excellent. Matt Alves, I think, had his best game. I'm curious how many kills he had, but he really left it all out there.
Well, that's going to do it for sports. Remember to watch NCM and follow us on social media to learn more about our upcoming live broadcasts. Kristen, back to you.
Monday night, the Planning Board began their meeting with a public hearing for a petition annual town meeting zoning bylaw and map amendment for 259 Lenox Street. Attorney Mackey gave a presentation, and the board and members of the public asked questions. After a brief discussion, it was approved by the board. The second public hearing of the night was also for a petition annual town meeting zoning bylaw and map amendment, but this time it was for 83 Moore Street, also known as the Space Center. David Hearn and David Dupree represented the Space Center and gave a presentation on the project. A motion was made to approve the project and recommend it to town meeting. The final two agenda items of the night were for 596 Boston Providence Highway, which was voted to be continued. The Planning Board ended their meeting by discussing the May 9th town meeting. They will meet again on May 23rd. The Board of Selectmen took time at the beginning of their meeting to honor Scott Murphy. Mr. Murphy has resigned from the Zoning Board of Appeals after serving many years as an associate member and full-time member. Scott wears many hats in town. He was the first member appointed to the Norwood Public Access Television Board in 2004. He still sits as a member of the Norwood Community Media Board of Directors.
On behalf of the Norwood Board of Selectmen, in honor of your years of service on the Zoning Board of Appeals, the board and the town offer their most sincere thanks for your tireless work. Thank you for your service, and the board wishes you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
I remember seeing you up at the cable studio for many, many years, and then the Board of Appeal. I'm so happy that you're here with us in Norwood. Thank you for all your help.
Thank you, Mrs. Donahue. Thank you.
And having been a chair of a few committees as well, it's not an easy job, and I just want to compliment you on you run a really nice meeting. You've done a great job on the ZBA, and hopefully the next chair of the ZBA will be as efficient and productive and as civil as you are in your proceedings.
You provided a lot of leadership to the newer members, and in talking with them, I think they've really enjoyed working with you. So that's a tough role sometimes to sort of bring along new folks.
Public service so much, and it's really great to have people that other people can learn from and be mentored by the examples that you've set for them. So I think you've just done an excellent job of that, and I think people will be able to take things forward that they've learned from your work. So just again, can't thank you so much.
Thank you.
And before it was NCM, you were the guy I got to come in and set up the organization and bring in the other two members, Marsha Nutting and who was the third one? Cummings, Annette Cummings, and move the whole project forward. And it's grown so tremendously, and pleased that you agreed to do that. I think you thought originally you were going to do it for a few months, help me get started, get the whole thing started.
I think that's what you told me.
And disappear, and I think you're still there. Maybe a slightly different role, but you are there.
Yep.
And I know, at least I certainly appreciate your involvement in that organization and what it does indirectly for the town as well.
This new group of people have every bit the qualities that the old ones had. It's a tribute to the town, really, that you have people that you can almost start from scratch and get a board that is as qualified and is just pays attention and works hard. It says a lot about the town of Norwood and in the leadership of the selectmen, getting people to actually serve on these boards. So I want to thank you for your opportunity to let me serve, and I think the board's in very good hands going forward, and it's a credit to you as well. So thank you.
Library Director Clayton Cheever made his first in-person appearance with the board. Mr. Cheever was excited to announce that the Morrill Memorial Library will be the first in the state of Massachusetts to offer a connection to the state court system.
We're very excited working with Tony and with people from the Massachusetts trial courts and the family and probate court. We're going to be doing a press release next week and a press event, but I included a flyer for it to give you a little bit of a preview, where we're very excited to be the very first court library partnership to provide greater access to the justice system. So this is a little bit of information about that, and we'd be happy to talk more about that, and you can watch the press as it comes about.
The Board of Selectmen meet again on May 10th. The Community Preservation Committee met at Town Hall Wednesday evening. DPW Superintendent Mark Ryan updated the committee on renovations coming to the Old Parish Cemetery. Treasurer Joe Greeley presented the finance report to the group. The committee discussed upcoming projects ahead of the annual town meeting coming up in May. The CPC meets again on May 9th. General Manager Tony Mazzucco held a town meeting information session at the Senior Center Thursday evening for residents to learn more about municipal finance. The General Manager answered questions about upcoming town meeting warrant articles and general accounting and budget questions. In case you missed it, there are several more information sessions happening during the first week of May. These informational sessions will cover a budget overview broken down by each department, so be sure to find a meeting highlighting the department or project you are interested in. For a full calendar of town meeting informational sessions, visit the town's website. And for complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for some upcoming events in town. Welcome back. The Norwood Police and Fire Departments each have rich histories. On Thursday evening, NPD Officer Brian Murphy and Firefighter Mike Chisholm detailed the deep histories of each department in the Simone Room at the library. This event was the first installment in this year's Norwood 150th Library Lecture Series. Officer Brian Murphy shares more.
We did a presentation here at the Norwood Library for the 150th committee for the town on the history of the police and fire, specifically the growth of the town and the police and fire facilities from the earliest days in the 1830s when the first fire companies were raised until present day, and also included the police department as the need for it developed and how the town answered the need starting in 1896, and continuing on to the growth of both departments and the challenges that we face in law enforcement and the fire services today. We have a wealth of information of the places where we've worked, since the beginning of each department, and the people involved, the men, the women that have provided the fire and police services, for close to 200 years now. And we're both amateur historians, and we're the keepers of the knowledge. We just want to keep preserve the history, for the generations to come.
Thanks, Officer Murphy. To watch the full rebroadcast, tune into the NCM Community Channel in May. Wednesday, the Norwood Historical Society hosted a talk by Anawan Whedon on Massachusetts, land of the Massachusetts. Before settlers arrived, before this area was known as Norwood, or earlier, South Dedham, who were the Massachusetts who lived here and served as stewards of this land? NCM was able to catch up with Anawan.
Here in Norwood is Massachusetts territory. I was very fortunate to have some Massachusetts people in attendance tonight's audience, and it was more or less a story, my personal family history of multiple time periods starting way before colonization, way before European arrival, just helping people in the room tonight understand, what a simple day would be like, what some of the activities you would see this culture here in this area doing, because most people who have lived here their whole life don't know what culture was here, what tribes still are here, what clothing they wore, what their arts and skills were, and obviously how they can implement that into their daily lives today. So today's presentation was, all in all, educational more than entertaining, and just to increase awareness of the Indigenous existence here in New England.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.